it over on YouTube, and just making sure that's going out to the rest of the world over the wonderful technology of Google. Nearly there, everybody. Maybe we can start with you tonight, though, Nunu, and find out how things are, how you are, and how the world of insurance is.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, great to see you. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me here once again. So, the world of insurance. So
Wonderful
this,
technology of Google. Nearly there.
hold
Hold on a minute. Let me just pause. Let me just
maybe
mute that. Sorry. There we go. Sorry, Nunu, go ahead. Forgive me.
okay. So this week, some news arise about that insurers are trying to fight fraud and waste in health insurance because some medication is being used for different purposes, especially for lose weight.
Oh,
And yes, and this affects either the public system and the private one. So yes, insurance and public authorities, they are trying to fight this because this is related with medicines to diabetic. And sometimes we realize that there are a lack of offer from the pharmacies of the medicine, and this is because it's been used from people to different purpose, which is lose weight. So this were one of the news. The other one is that we keep seeing some advertising offering health insurance without waiting period, with no waiting period, and with no limitation of age. This is always discount plans, not a proper health insurance with limits insured. Okay, so basically these two points.
okay. Thanks very much, Nunu. How are you?
Me, well, I'm okay. I'm recovering, so I'm
Good.
pretty well now. Still as a prisoner at home, but I handle well with this. It's like COVID again.
Yes. So
And it-
recovering from a bit of shoulder surgery. We should explain. He's not actually literally being held a prisoner at home. Before anybody calls the GNR, it's just a euphemism for having to rest and recuperate, right, Nunu?
Yeah, the difference is that now I'm the only one in COVID time, and everyone else is on the streets and doing their
That's true.
lives. So
Yeah.
it's the only difference.
And you can't
But
innovate
everything
your
else.
business anymore in the way that you're able to in the pandemic. Well, lovely to see you tonight. Any questions about insurance? Of course, they should go to Nunu tonight. And here's something we can deal with straight away. Larry, I've been trying to communicate with Winsurance for several weeks. Hasn't had a reply. That is very unusual, Larry. And we'll make sure that's put right tonight. So let's just connect you up with Nunu in the
You
chat.
can send me right away an email. I'm going to put here my email, and you can text me, please.
There you
Okay.
go. And Nunu will watch out for you there, Larry, and let's make sure that happens. So apologies for that, and we can put that right straight away. We've also got Sarah here, and a question for you. And Gilda, we'll come to Gilda in just a moment. Sarah, how are you? How is the UK this evening?
It's good. The weather's a bit miserable. I've moved house this week, so that was quite stressful, but it's all good. And planning for
Congratulations.
my move
Sorry to
to
hear the stress.
Portugal.
Oh, okay. Go on, say more.
So my visa's been approved, and I'm going next week to the Portuguese consulate to get the visa attached to my passport. And then I'm moving out the 6th of May.
How about that? Parabéns, congratulations. Six. Oh, you'll be a couple of days late for the Tamar meetup. Maybe you can go to the next one. But so it's been quite the week then. And what lovely news to be celebrating with us. Thank you very much for sharing that.
And it's good news as well. Actually, I bring for Americans that are moving to Portugal. The rates are very good at the moment. The rates are very good. The last time we saw this level was November last year.
Oh,
Basically, it's what I've been saying about central banks looking to cut interest rates. The Fed have come out and said that it might take a little bit longer for that to happen. They're watching the inflation data carefully, and basically they want to see more data that shows that inflation is dropping before they look to cut interest rates. So that's really what we're kind of watching. But as a result, because of the Fed coming out and saying that it's going to perhaps take a little bit longer, the US dollar strengthened. So it is a good time. As I said, last time we saw this was in November last year.
very good. So those already with the Spartan FX account can call their named and contact inside Spartan FX. It's a very personal service that's offered by Spartan. And if you haven't got an account already, you can do that very easily. That's a very straightforward process, isn't it, Sarah?
It is, yes. And even if anyone's bought their currency before now, I always say to people, we don't just look at it in a sort of month or sort of short term. We look at it in long term, like over the last 12 months, the last 5 years. I mean, if we look at any people that are from the UK, like myself, moving to Portugal, if I look back at the last 5 years, we're at very good levels. So again, it's sort of putting it a little bit into perspective.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Yes, and do get in touch. You can see the details there for opening up a Spartan FX account with Sarah. Any questions about currency, pop them in the chat and we'll get them to Sarah this evening. We've also got Gilda Pereira with us from EI. How are you this evening, Gilda?
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Olá, boa noite, tudo bem?
Yeah, everything is fine.
Yeah. I thought you were going to come back at me with some Portuguese. Yeah. Sounds like you're from Chelsea in London. My goodness. Okay, well, it's fair enough. I practice my Portuguese, and you practice your English with me. Not that you need to, I hasten to add. How are you this evening?
I'm a little bit tired today.
What's been going on, Gilda?
Well, we've been trying to get appointments, and we came out with this strategy to send email to all our clients to send to IMA and then to send us an email to IMA on behalf of the client. So it's like we are trying everything possible to get appointments for people that don't have appointments yet.
Nice bit of innovation there. So trying anything and everything to get people up and in front of IMA. Any other news from the front line of visas?
No, not really. Not really. And right now we already got three answers. So we succeeded in
it's working.
Yeah.
The new strategy is working. That's great. That's great news. Good to hear. Okay. Do you want to talk at all about what I've seen reported in the English speaking Portuguese paper as the AL Bonanza? The new government has overturned some of the Mais Habitação legislation, or is that too new to talk about?
I'm not aware of that because I'm not
You're too busy talking to
I don't have time to watch TV these days. I don't know what's going on in the world.
I don't want it to sound like that I'm sat at home watching Portuguese TV all day while you're busy trying to fix up visas for people. It's just something I heard on the grapevine. So perhaps that'll come to us. But it would appear the new government are trying to do or shake things up a little bit and hit the ground running. And I think that's one of the pieces of news people might like to look for themselves. Some changes to the AL proposals that were touted previously before the election, of course.
Yes, I know that they had in the program something that they want to review the EL changes.
Yes. Okay. So
But
that's on the table. And it might be, it
yes.
might just be a lot of noise, mightn't it? It might be a lot of heat, but not much light. We shall see about that.
Yes.
That's I mean, presumably that's what normally happens when a new government comes in Portugal. They do make a lot of noise and say the right things. Whether or not that comes to anything remains to be seen, I suspect, Gilda.
Yes, so now we just need to wait and see what's going to happen.
All right. And we can find out about that here, of course, on the Dream Team session every Thursday evening at 9. Okay, let's get straight into the questions then. Thank you very much for these. And
I'm sorry, I was a little bit late, and I also sent the link late to Carolina. So Carolina just arrived.
Here, isn't she? Good evening. No, Fashmal, I would say to you, Gilda. It's great to have you here. I'm glad to see you here. And Carolina as well. Olá, boa noite. Carolina, tudo bem?
Olá, boa noite, Carl.
Olá,
Very
boa noite,
nice
Carolina.
Portuguese. How are you?
Thank you so much. I thought you were shocked so much that you could reply to me with my Portuguese.
No, it was very well pronounced.
Thank you. So how are you? How's your day been?
It's been very good. And I'm ready to answer all the questions. I have some allergies, so sorry for my nasal sound.
Bless you. Okay, so with the good weather comes a little bit of the pollen and allergies and that sort of thing. So thank you for being here nonetheless. Really appreciate it. Debbie, soon in Coimbra. I'm loving the affirmation in your Zoom name. You were quick to put your hand up. Go ahead. Ask your question, please.
Oh, thank you. And it's for Nuno. And first I want to say, so I got health insurance for me, and Helena helped me. She was great. She was very patient because we had a problem with my mailing address. First, I was waiting for it, and then the other realtor, not my realtor, the other realtor had it messed up. Anyway, she was so patient. She was like, "It's okay, it's okay." So my question, that was some praise.
Thank
My
you.
question, I've been I've been emailing with Christina about insurance for my dog. And the last I heard from her, she said, well, I need your resident card. Well, I don't have a resident card. I haven't arrived yet, and I'm not even seeing Ima until July 1st. So does that mean I have to wait until I have a residence card before I can insure the dog? Because I haven't heard back from her.
I need to search which insurer are we talking about, because for example, and we have one situation similar to this one today with the life insurance from one provider. So depending on the provider, some rates that others don't. Also depending on the line of insurance that we are talking about. Let me check. I have my email here. Please forward me, and then I could follow the matter, and we'll come back.
Okay.
Okay, one of us will come back to you tomorrow.
All
Okay?
right, wonderful. Thanks.
Thank
There
you.
you go, Debbie. Debbie, I'm going to make you an honorary member of the Dream Team panel tonight, if I just may ask you. Why Coimbra? Because I think that could be very interesting to other people. You've chosen the great academic capital of Portugal, of course. Fabulous city. What's the appeal for you specifically, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I'd love to answer that. So I spent 4 months overseas last summer, and 1 full month was in Portugal. And I was kind of thinking, oh, maybe I'll move to Portugal. And I had originally thought, oh, it's probably going to be like the Algarve or Lisbon or Porto, right? And a friend came over for a couple of weeks. He is second generation American, and his grandfather got his medical degree at the University of Coimbra. So he said, hey, do you mind if we go to Coimbra for a couple of days, because I want to see where my grandfather went to the university? Sure, no problem.
Wow.
Well, we arrived. We were only supposed to be there for a day out of a month, right? We're just overnight. And I was enchanted by it. I like that it's still a city, but it's smaller than Porto and Lisbon. I love the young vibe, but I think this is what did it for me. So, of course, the students all look like they're right out of Harry Potter, right? You know,
Yes,
the
definitely.
kids.
Yep.
And so there were 3 of us Americans, and so many students, they would approach us and they'd say, hi, are you American? And we'd say, yes. And they'd say, can we talk to you for a while? They just want to practice their English. And I'm so used to, like, here in the United States, if you're old, you're crap, you know? I mean, nobody wants to talk to an old person.
All right.
No, really. And you know, I felt like, wow. And even like wherever we ate, like the servers who were probably university students or that age, they were just so friendly. And it was so refreshing to be in a country where, as I mean, I'm 68, I'm not a little kid, and to be treated, you know, like they were interested in me. And the other thing is that I take my dog everywhere. I don't see her to hold her up. But anyway, I take my dog everywhere. And everywhere in Portugal, people are like, Linda, 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 because she's a very pretty dog.
Yeah.
But you know, I just really liked, it's a city, but it's a smaller city. And I fell in love with it. So after my friend went home, I went back on my own to see, do I still like it without my friends being with me? And I did still like it. So
wonderful. Thank you for that. I'm really glad I asked you. I think Carolina's probably taking notes as well, because she has an encyclopedic knowledge of all the cities.
Sorry, my doorbell's ringing.
Oh, okay, goodbye. Thank you very much. It must be good in Coimbra, because look, Debbie lives on a desert island. Thank you very much, Debbie, for that. Really appreciate you being part of things this evening. Sarah, question for you. If I want to send money to my bank account in Portugal from my Spartan FX account, how do I check the conversion rate before I do? On the YouTube video, there is a conversion option, but in my account, there is no such option. How's that done, Sarah?
We can activate it for you. So I've just put it in the chat. If you email me directly, I'll check your account and we can get that activated. A lot of our clients just ring up and do it over the phone. I do it myself. I use Steve. I call him up, get him to do it for me.
Yes. Sell, buy. I'm doing
it's just easy. I mean, I can do it myself online, but it's just so much easier because, you know, you get given obviously the IBAN and just making sure you're putting the details in correct. It just sort of, he's doing it day in, day out, makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
It's really the dream team in action, because I'm using Steve, so I'm using Spartan FX. I used insurance, and I have my insurance, Nuno and Helena. And then, of course, I used EI. Gilda and her team were fantastic. She set up my bank account and helping me get my visa.
Product of the product. How about that? Look at that. Fantastic. Really good to hear that. Thank you very much. I hope that helps Laronda. And when Laronda says the YouTube video, I mean, there are instructional videos, are there, to go with what
Yes,
people
it's a YouTube, basically shows how to use their online account.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you, Sarah, for that. Such lovely news. Thank you for sharing that with us tonight, and great that you've been helped so ably by the dream team there, including Spartan FX. Greetings from Ohio, where it is hazy and 14 degrees centigrade. My wife really likes the pictures I took. Tom, of course, was in Portugal, I think only last week, right? And Mrs. Smith is open to at least a visit. And I think the webinar we just had with Deb O'Grady, on how to have conversations with the loved ones about coming to Portugal may have been helpful tonight. Larry, I think we've sorted you out there. Pamela, what is the best place to get our vehicle inspected for the Transportation Ministry? I think we'll probably go to Nunu for that. That's an IMT centre. Now, Pamela, tell us, I don't know if you want to unmute and tell us this, but your vehicle inspected, is that because you're getting matriculated for use in Portugal, or is it a retest on a Portuguese vehicle? But generally speaking, Nuno, where would you find the Transportation Ministry and a place to get your vehicle inspected here in Portugal?
Well, there are several centers to do inspections, but I honestly don't know regarding rematriculated cars.
We need to find out if that's what she means, because I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. So sorry.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
I don't know.
We need to find out if that's actually what Pamela is asking for there. So we'll come back to you, Pamela, on that.
Okay.
We've got, oh, Pamela, are you there?
I'm here, yeah.
Okay,
I'm
go
here.
ahead. What is it you want to do with your vehicle? And what sort of vehicle is it?
Okay, so it is a Golf Volkswagen,
Right.
which is good because that also exists in Portugal. We are importing or exporting our vehicle
Okay.
from Canada.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't say that. And we did get a certificate of conformity within the UK, the Portuguese company, and the embassy also gave us something yesterday, the Portuguese consulate in Canada.
Yes.
But I understand if you take in a foreign vehicle, then you have to have it inspected.
You do, yeah. And I would suggest ACP to help you with that. We had our guests ACP recently on the webinar. So find ACP in the business directory and get their help. They really are the experts on that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I did hear them last week.
Wonderful. Yeah. Pamela, you put some other comments into the chat there.
Yeah.
So you've had some good luck, have you, with appointments?
Well, the Portuguese consulate in Vancouver, Canada is excellent. There's a person there. She'll answers all email that you send her. We saw her yesterday to pick up our visa, our D7 visa. And she went through all the documents with us. And she said, what about the DOC?
Yes.
And I had never heard it. And I've read an awful lot, my partner and I. But I haven't heard of that. I'm a yes, this, that, and the other thing. But, and
so that's
I put
what
it in.
You put that in the chat there, haven't you? A question on, is it DAC or DOC you're talking about there?
Oh, I thought it was DAC.
Well, let me read it out and let's see. Gilda might be able to pick this up for us. I understand a straightforward, thank you, Pamela. I understand a straightforward authentication system that links a citizen's card to their email or mobile phone number or a foreign resident's passport number. After registration, the phone number or passport number serves as a login and access is granted with a numerical PIN. Is this the digital key, Gilda?
Yes.
A lot of Portuguese people, I think, are a little bit reluctant to use this system. Can you tell us a bit more about it, Gilda or Carolina? Carolina, I think, is going to take this.
The digital key is a great thing that we have. So basically, it's a code that gives us access to several websites, like from the state, like Social Security, the finances portal, some banks. So you don't have to have one password for each thing. There's one that is established by the state that gives you access to several. I have the digital key, and basically what happens is you can enter to enter a website. What you do is to put the code that was defined plus your phone number. Then you will receive a text with a code, and that code will give you access to the site that you want to log into.
Yeah.
Plus this, if I'm not mistaken, the chave digital, the mobile key, sorry.
No, not at all. I
You
mean,
have
it's important that people know what it is in Portuguese. So chave digital is the
chave digital, yes. And with that, you can also add, there's an app of the government, I believe I'm not mistaken on what I'm saying, but you can also add your documents in there, so you can present it in the phone, and they are acceptable if you need to
Yes.
present them. So it's a very useful thing. I used it a lot of times. So I invite you to do this service with us, because it's a magical key, really. It helps us a lot in the daily stuff.
Now, Nunu's laughing because I think, without being disrespectful here, Nunu, the older generation are not so keen on the digital key. Is that right?
I don't know if this is true. And just to share you something that happened me maybe 4 years ago. So someone that knows or knew my father, he wanted health insurance. And I did what I usually don't do, which is I attend to the village where my father has also a house. And I've been with him, and he seems that he don't make a clue of using digital stuff.
Right.
So after having all the paper filled, I told him, don't worry. Afterwards, I will give this to my father. I'll come back to you, and we'll give you the proper documentation to sign. And he said, and he replied to me, but can I sign? Is possible to me sign through the on my mobile phone? And my mom
Wow. Okay, so Dad had the digital key.
never assumed that.
No, I feel bad now. So it's not an age thing. It's like whether you're an adopter of technology or not. Because I remember asking the Dream Team before, and not everybody on the Dream Team was sort of well disposed towards this scheme, and not everybody's got it. But Carolina, you absolutely recommend it.
Yes, because you can access to several public and private websites with this key.
Yeah.
And there's another app, it's not the same thing, but it's a government app where you can, it's called ID Gov, where you can add your your license, your residence permit, but that's another stuff. So ignore that part. So the digital key is only to access public and private websites, and by one code you have access to several, and you always receive a text to your mobile phone to put a specific code. You have one to access your app, but to open the website you have to receive a text first.
Yes,
So
double
I
security.
think it's very useful. So
yeah.
I use it. Sorry, no.
No, not so. You'd have to be a smartphone user, wouldn't you, to do that and be fairly au fait with the technology. What did you want to add to that, Nunu?
Well, this happened to me maybe 4 months ago. So I'm handling with a câmara da Câmara Municipal da Amadora.
Perish.
Thank you so much, Carolina, to approve a house that I'm building. And I receive a document to sign, and I use the ID Gov to sign. So no doubt there is no doubt that is me who is signing. And the camera replied to me, no, we don't accept this. You need to do what?
Very good.
So you are in Portugal, but I'm definitely be using all day long digital signatures and be as much digital as we can. So
okay, yeah, I mean that's right. With MBWay, there is so much that Portugal is leading the way on. It's a great question, Pamela. Is that everything for you tonight? And has that helped?
Oh, that's helped enormously. But one thing I may have missed is that how initially do you get that code?
Carolina, can you help people set it up?
Yes, EI helps getting that digital key, but you need to be in Portugal and you have to have the NIF, your residence permit. Only after that you can is where you can have the digital key.
So it's
You
one of
have
those
to go to
jobs.
Loja de Cidadão, and there they will do the process.
Very good. That's one of the list, one of the first jobs on the list. Then after arrival, I think, Pamela, if you want to put that in, you know, if you're making various to-do lists, that's for the just landed list by the sound of it. Okay.
And I haven't landed yet. So thank you.
Fair enough. Thank you. I beg your pardon. So you're already here, Pamela.
No, I haven't landed yet.
Okay, all right. So yeah, head to your Loja de Cidadão, as Carolina is saying there, or get some help from EI, from A on that. And I think that's probably a Casa Portuguesa job specifically. So they'll be able to help you with that. Anything else for you, Pamela, tonight?
That's great. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, let's go to the questions in the Zoom chat, and we'll go over to YouTube as soon as we can. We've dealt with the vehicle inspection. That's ACP. Find them in the business directory. This is a good and interesting and unusual question from Paul K. My son has a lot of action figures he has collected over the years, mostly still in packages. What does he need to do to be able to ship them to Portugal after we get them there without having to pay VAT? Pictures of himself with them before we move. Now, GIR can help with the practicalities of shipping them, but Gilda, how would you avoid paying or proving, I should say, that they are personal items and not something you're importing? Is that for you as well, Carolina? Oh, no.
No, sorry, no.
No worries.
I just
no
wanted to clarify something. Sorry, Carl, I interrupted you.
No, you carry on.
So you can do it with your passport as well. I was just checking
well
the
done.
documentation that you need, and it can also be done with your passport. I just wanted to clarify that.
Oh, that's really good. Well, thank you for doing so. That's for the Chave Digital. You can use your passport for doing that. Brilliant, Carolina. So, Gilda, bringing a personal collection, a hobby collection, and convincing the customs that you're not bringing in things to sell. How would you go about doing that?
First, it will help a lot if you have some receipts. And maybe that won't be the case because it's a collection and you bought them in different times.
Well, they might be yeah.
But you can, they're still in boxes, but perhaps you can show that they have some use and they have some years. If you could go to a place that certifies that is a collection and those, it's toys, right?
Yeah, toys, action figures. Okay, so
yes, and those action figures are from different years and different years collections. Because I know that I had something in the past that they need to go to a specific place that they wrote a letter to specify that it was a collection.
Ah, okay. All right. So if you belong to a club, for example,
yes,
and the chair of the club says, on some headed note paper says that this person is a member of this club, and these are indeed action figures that are a private collection, that might help.
That might help. That is one thing to show that the items are not for sale. The other thing is that you need to keep those figures in the in your own country, and then you move to Portugal. Being in Portugal after your residency permit, you change your tax address, and with your tax address, you need to ask the consulate for the luggage certificate.
Right.
Because with the luggage certificate, it's the document that it's going to help you to bring your items without paying VAT.
Right, there you go. Couple of options there. That was for, who was that for? Paul.
That was for me, thanks.
Is that work for you, Paul?
Yeah. Unfortunately, he doesn't have receipts. He's been buying these for years. So
yes. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Nice backdrop. Good to see you. And that's ready for the Carnation Revolution celebrations, I suspect, for next Thursday evening. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Anything else we can do for you?
No, that's it for today.
Wonderful. Cheers, Paul. Thanks for being here tonight. We've got Denise, who wanted a question for Daniel. Sorry, he's not here with us tonight. Very unusual for Daniel not to be here. Urgent business.
Maybe I can help.
Okay, Denise, do ask the question, and Gilda may well be able to help with that. And Denise, you agree with Debbie. I love Coimbra and intend looking for property there. Casa Portuguesa can, of course, help you with that. House in País de Gales back on the market this week. Fingers crossed. Good luck with that. Boa sorte. Peda in Wales this evening. And I think, okay, that's from Paul to Debbie directly there. That's nice to see as well. We've got members helping members in the Zoom chat here. Denise, my granddaughter has Portuguese citizenship. Let's try that with you, Gilda. Then my granddaughter has Portuguese citizenship and is getting married to a South African with Portuguese grandparents, but they can't find their documents. So they want to get a spousal passport for her husband. Not heard of one of those. What are the requirements for this and how long would the process take? Is there a website where I can find these details? Thank you, from Denise.
Hello, Denise. So it's possible to get the citizenship through the spouse, but you need to be married for more than 3 years.
Ah, okay.
Okay. And
Right.
you need to show also that you have some ties with the Portuguese community.
Okay. Is that everything for the criteria?
Yes, it's more likely that. And then it's paperwork, like the marriage certificate, the birth certificate, and you can check some of this information in the IRN site.
Yes. Yep. Okay.
The thing is that now all the nationality process are being processed faster through lawyers in a specific portal. So it's easier for you to find a lawyer that will represent you and make the application through the specific portal.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Is that everything for you, Denise? And is that everything you want to say on that, Gilda, for the time being?
Yes, and then if you want to look for Daniel's help, you know that he's an expert on that.
Absolutely, and very unusual that he's not here this evening, but he should be back with us next week. Novokolskia. This is Alex. So Novokolsky, I think. Alex Novokolsky. No need to twist your tongue with my last name. I think there's a Portuguese R rolling reference there. What are the EL? I think it's AL changes that you heard about, and if they affect the D7 program. I don't think there's a connection there with the D7 and the AL. It's just that the government are talking about pushing back on some of the AL suggestions that were part of the Mais Habitation legislation that was around in the previous months before the election. And if we do hear any news on that that's specific and tangible, we will share that with you. And I'm sure Daniel will have a view on that next week when he returns. Denise likes the sound of the digital key and glad to hear it's available in Portugal in this format. I use digital signatures for all documents and it's so much easier, but not necessarily accepted at all Câmara Municipals, as Nuno found as well. It's a work in progress here in Portugal, that sort of thing. But I think Portugal is making a lot of headway with the digital transformation. Thank you very much. Gail is asking to Carolina, if I'm not living in Portugal yet, just a clarification on this, Carolina, if I'm not living in Portugal yet, but I have my NIF, can I get my digital key with my Canadian passport? Do you think that will be possible?
I would have to check.
Right.
So what I ask is to please send me an email. I will check that information and I will let you know. You also need a Portuguese phone number, by the way.
Ah, the smartphone. Yes, the smartphone will need it.
Need a Portuguese phone number to receive the codes.
That could be the blockage, Gail. Yeah, you'll need a Portuguese phone number there. Okay.
Yeah, I will check that if you don't send me an email, I will clarify this on the next Dream Team session.
Yeah, because the thing about this is that it's a security system, isn't it? So you can't have someone else do it for you. In Portugal, you need to be doing it yourself with your own phone to make it make sense security-wise. And whilst on the matter of Canada...
I'm sorry,
Oh,
I just want to add something.
Yeah, go ahead.
The digital key for foreigners is something very, very new. It has like 1.5 months.
Oh, okay. So it is possible, but it's, like I said, work in progress in this area.
Yes, it's work in progress. That's why we are still having so many doubts about it, because it used to be only for Portuguese citizens.
Yes.
So Gail, it could be worth a try. And as Carolina says, send an email and you'll try and assist with that, Carolina. Great. Okay, there you go, Gail in Canada. And a nice reminder from Sarah. We help you move your money from America, Canada, the UK and other countries to Portugal. So can certainly exchange a few loonies as well, as I think they're referred to. Pamela, yesterday, is that you laughing, Pamela, about me calling your currency the loonie?
Yes.
Okay. But it is correct, is it not?
It's not, the currency isn't called the loonie. Our dollar is a loonie, a silver loonie.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for that correction. There, right. Wonderful. And let's go to Denise. Oh, we've done that one. Thank you, Denise. I hope that was okay. Thank you, Gilda. Is the website the IRN? That's right, isn't it? So it's the registry, basically, registry office, as we would call it in the UK, the IRN there. Alex, I think we've answered your question there. And I was told that for the digital key, I needed both a resident card and a Portuguese phone number. Please update us on any changes to those requirements. Well, Laronda, as I think your message came in after or before Gilda clarified that. So it is work in progress, and you can try with Carolina by sending an email to Carolina, and Casa Portuguesa will try and help. Paul, that's so unhelpful. In California, it's just the residents that are loonies. I'll leave you to deal with that in the chat as we go over to YouTube now, where we're going to say good evening to the Naunu. Renee is over there as well. Joseph Fisher. We've also got Hamad and Christian. So let's go to some of your questions. Tomorrow, I am completing 5 months of waiting period for the D2 visa, Gilda, from India. No reply from the embassy to any of the emails. What's going on in India? Any updates or anything we can help there with the Naunu?
Well, first, usually D2s take a longer time to be approved, and D2 in India takes even a longer time to be approved. So it's not something to panic about. In fact, if it has been 5 months, I think it's good news, because they didn't reject it, or they didn't send anything to add documentation, because most of the times they take like 2 months to reply if it is if they intend to reject or to ask for more documentation.
Wow. Okay. So no news could indeed be good news there.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. There you go. The Naunu. The D2, you say a visa process are slow at the IMA end or at the embassy end in a specific country. Which of these two take more time and make the approval decision? So yeah, is it local at the embassy or is it IMA? I mean, everything ultimately is decided by IMA, is it not?
Yes, yes. But it goes it works like this. The VFS collects the process, okay, and makes a first checking that most likely it's not correct, because they don't have the knowledge and the capability to do that. So that's why sometimes we need to fight against VFS employees. Then once the process gets into the consulate, it stays there, it's analyzed one more time. And if they think it's fine, they send to IMA.
Yes.
And then IMA needs to give the final approved and then send to the consulate again. The consulate says it's okay and puts the stamp on it.
Okay, so there you go, the Naunu. That's how it works. And IMA you is the overall and deciding force in the process, but sometimes the VFSs and the embassies can get ideas above their stations, which need to be challenged. I hope that helps. Do let us know in the chat. We'll stay with you, Gilda, if we may. Hi, everyone. I would like to ask Gilda for a clarification about something she said last week. I think, Joseph, I suggested you call the office. It could be quite useful in this instance. I made a VFS appointment in the EI or the A office. I mean by that. I made a VFS appointment in 2023 to qualify for the NHR, but the appointment date is in late April of 24. Do you remember this, Shilda? I will not meet the criteria for the D7 at the time of the appointment, but will meet the criteria about 1 to 2 months after the appointment date. Also, I may not be able to attend the appointment. If I asked if I should let the appointment pass, reschedule the appointment, or attend the appointment, even if I don't qualify. Gilda said I should reschedule, but Carolina Cunha had said something else. Would you like to clarify on that? Can Gilda please clarify why she said I should reschedule rather than let it pass and make a new appointment? Or should Joseph just give you a call in the morning?
No. Actually, I talked with Carolina about this. What is the thing here is that in my opinion, if you reschedule it, you can have a double interpretation from the tax authority.
Mhm.
Like, in my point of view, you can still show that your intention was before the end of the year 2023, because the first appointment was on the end of 2023. So my interpretation, and if I had to be on your defense, I would say he had the interest was in 2023, but then he couldn't go to the appointment, so he rescheduled, but he still be entitled to have the NHR.
Okay.
Okay, this is my interpretation. But Carolina, she's being more conservative.
Right.
She says, okay, if he rescheduled, it's going to be an appointment in 2024, so the tax authorities may not approve it.
Yes. Okay.
How do I think it's going to work in practical terms? As long as you apply for the NHR during 2024, during this year, they are not going to make many questions.
Okay.
But you need to be careful to not stretch the timeline, because if you want to reschedule the appointment, don't forget that then if the visa takes some time to be issued, or if the appointment with Iman takes more time, then you can have problems to apply to the NHR.
Yep. Okay. And I mean, this is an art, not a science, isn't it? So we are second guessing and getting a sense of what might happen. So you can't give a definitive answer, can you? You can just give an answer based on your experience and what you think might happen. And ultimately, the client has to make their own call on this. Is that right, Gilda?
Yes.
So there you go, Joseph.
So Joseph, you have two different point of views, one more conservative, one more optimistic.
Yeah.
Now you have to weigh both of them and make a decision.
Yeah, and to some extent you're dealing with the law, but you're also dealing with the law in action, aren't you? And there's an element of interpretation in there, which is what you're dealing with, Joseph. So we can't just say to you, do this or do that. It's not like that in this particular instance. Right. I think we've got Paul, who's gone into damage limitation with the rest of the Californians in the chat, which is great. Good work, Paul, explaining himself. And Pamela adding the $2 coin in Canada is called the toonie. Of course it would be, wouldn't it? That makes a lot of sense. And here's a lovely testimonial that you might want to pass on to your colleague, Carolina. Carla de Carvalho at Casa Portuguesa is awesome. If you wouldn't mind passing that on, I'm sure she'd love to hear that in the morning. That's from Matthew B. Renee, please, can someone give me some insight? I got my visa back last week. I applied with my adult daughter in February. Is that normal? Do you normally get the visas back by the listed date on your paperwork? This is out of San Francisco. Still waiting for the daughter's visa. What do you make of that, Gilda?
Well, being San Francisco, it doesn't surprise me.
Okay.
They are not that organized.
Okay, so when Renee asks, "Is that normal?" It's kind of it is normal. It's
Yes.
not right. It's not right
It's
necessarily.
like it's not the first time that it happens.
Okay, so there you go, Renee. I don't know if that's much help to you, but
if they take too long, you should send them emails to ask for it, and if they take too long, please contact us to see at a higher level if something is going wrong.
Okay, excellent. We're getting more names for money here. The greenback, of course, the US dollar. It's really boring now in Europe, isn't it? That everything's called the euro. It doesn't have a fancy nickname. Did the Portuguese escudo have a nickname, I wonder? Because I saw a post the other day. Somebody had found, I think, 1,000 escudo notes in some possessions in the UK, and they thought, yes, I'm rich. 3,000 escudos, amazing. And I think that comes to about 30 UK pounds. I mean, it's not a bad find, but it's nothing like 3,000. Did it have a nickname? Do you know, Gilda, back in the day?
Yeah, like tostões.
Tostões. What's that?
Yeah.
That's what the escudo was called. That was its street name.
Tostões is like very little escudos when it's like not much money. Like I have some tostões, like
shrapnel, sort of,
yeah,
okay, bits and pieces.
Okay.
Okay.
What else, Nuno? We had
Cents?
some more.
Cents could be cents, similar.
But did it have a street name? I mean, I suppose escudos sounds like dosh for short, doesn't it? But did it have a name other than the escudos or the escudo?
No, escudos. Escudos is the name.
Escudos. Yeah, I'm sure in Portugal just like escudos.
No, but we still have nicknames for the money.
For the euro?
Yeah, like
go on.
carcanhol.
I've not heard that one. What's that?
No?
Okay. Now
Now we're talking. Okay.
I see what you are.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, nicknames. Yes, we have some.
Can we have them in the chat and I'll try and read them out? That would be wonderful. Thank you very much. We've got Renee coming back to us with, and could I get some clarification on the baggage certificate? Do I get that at my CEF appointment, or can I get that now with my visa, as my items are at the Port of Oakland waiting for their 10-week journey, and I really don't want to pay tax on my stuff? So a bit of clarification on the baggage certificate. We're not talking about the sort of baggage that Deb was talking about in the previous webinar. We're talking about actual stuff that's coming in. Could you tell us a bit more on that, please, Gilda?
Well, once again, what is in the law? According to the law, you need to have your residency permit for the luggage certificate.
Yeah.
But in practice, sometimes we manage to change your tax address only with the visa, and the consulate accepts that. But even if the consulate accepts that and issues you the luggage certificate, you need to check with the company that is doing the transportation if for them that would be enough, or if they are going to ask you for the residency permit.
Okay.
I'm going to explain. We had the client recently that he couldn't have an appointment. And what we did was we spoke with the parish. With the parish certificate, we could change the tax address to Portugal. And with that, we explained to the company that was making the transportation, and they accepted. But not every company accept that situation without the residency permit.
Okay, so there you go, Renee. That should help. I hope for you. Again, it's not entirely clear. There is the law and there is the interpretation of the law, and that is what you'll find from time to time. And you have to make your best judgment call on that with the help of the professionals, as you've just heard from Gilda there. Okay, let's do a few more quickies, because I have got a cultural question and there's lots to tell you about from Astrid's point of view with the forthcoming attractions. So Gilbert lives in New York City, and I'm planning to move in December or January. I already have my bank account, and I'm wondering when I should take the steps necessary to get my D7 visa so that my move is not delayed, but that the visa does not expire before I'm ready to move. So coming in December or January. When should Gilbert get moving with the D7 visa process?
He should start in July.
There you go. For you, Gilbert. Pamela, the conversation today, this evening, raises a question for me. Do we apply for NHR during our first IMA meeting? It's done and over, isn't it? No more applying for the NHR. Am I correct in saying that, Gilda?
Yes, unless you can prove that you started the process in before the end of 2023.
And that's the transitory regime, I think.
Yes, the transitory regime.
So if you started and you can prove that to Pamela, that's good. But if you didn't, if you can't, then there is no more NHR for people, not even being talked about by the government yet. So bon night, everyone from Grace and Charlie. Charlie and I had our IMA appointment today at Odivelas. Everything's smooth, and we left with our residence number receipts in hand. Phew, we're going to sleep well tonight here in Cascais. Well, I hope you're celebrating in your favorite way there, Grace and Charlie. That's good news. Thank you for sharing that with us. Pedder is saying, is this a name for the Welsh, the formerly Welsh coinage or money? The Llyngi Farchadioal. Bless you, is what I would say if I heard somebody saying that. Santinos and Saud to you. I did the same for my D7 appointment, flew to DC the day before, then walked over to the VFS office that afternoon. Wow, Debbie, thank you for that. And Paul, I think, still talking about loonies in California. Let's ask you the question, the all-important question now, Dream Team panel, before we go to Astrid to conclude with forthcoming attractions. It is, of course, in a week's time, the 50th anniversary of the Carnation Revolution. Now, when I asked the Dream Team before a few months ago, what's happening? How are we celebrating? It's like, oh, that's ages away. We haven't even started talking about that yet. We've got an election and, you know, and then I think the next time after that, well, it's a public holiday. We're just looking forward to having a day off. How can us expats, foreigners, immigrants get into the spirit of 50 years of this amazing event in Portuguese history? How should we be celebrating next Thursday night? Is there some particular food? We should maybe have a red carnation in the house or in our lapel. Is there anything to eat or drink? I'll start with you first, Nuno, if I may. How should we celebrate next Thursday?
Actually, yes, it's an important date for us Portuguese and in the Portuguese history, but I never celebrate.
It started so well. This is really important to us Portuguese, but actually,
no.
Okay, all right.
Actually, I think that mostly is celebrated for the politicians and people with the left ideology, so more bounded with the Communist Party and so on.
Okay.
Mostly, not only.
No, I understand that. Yeah, having learned a bit more about it, I can see that. So it'll be just nice to have a day off, basically, for a lot of people. I think us foreigners, any opportunity we get to have a bottle of Spumant, and with the webinar next week, I'm going to have one ready so that I can have a drink with Peter at the end of the webinar. So is that everything you want to say about that, Nuno?
It's because we don't have any special feast. We don't have a dessert. We don't have nothing much. It's an important date, no doubt about that. But I think that we don't have a special celebration to the carnival.
Okay. Well, I'm wondering if you can eat red carnations. Maybe if you can, then you can tempura them. Dip them in spring water first and then tempura batter on a red carnation. That's my best guess and suggestion so far. Thanks, Nuno. Thanks for being here this evening. Sarah, of course, I think you'll be in the UK. You won't be in Portugal just yet for the 25th of April. Has it meant anything to you? Are you excited by the thought of celebrating the Carnation Revolution, or will just a glass of fizz be fine?
Probably a glass of fizz. I'm probably disappointed not to be there because obviously if you're going to move somewhere, you want to partake in everything that happens culturally or any celebration. So probably I'll be there and Nuno and then won't be.
Right, yeah, just us foreigners celebrating.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll definitely have a drink when you arrive and when we see you here on the Silver Coast. So I'll make sure we've got some chilled spumant, and that's going down fairly well with the foreigners, I think, tonight. So thank you, Sarah, for being here tonight. What about you, Carolina? What would you suggest for getting into the spirit of things next Thursday?
As Nuno said, there's nothing special for you to eat. But I believe like a beer, like an Imperial, a beer very cold beer with some
Yes.
termossos. Como é que se diz termossos?
Yes, very good. Lupin beans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As to go, if you want to go to the streets, there's usually a parade in Liberty Avenue that goes down, so to restauradores, and while people will protest and argue for democracy, and since it's 50 years of the 25th of April, it will be big, I believe. I will be there.
Imperials and tremosos, that sounds like a great idea on a warm spring evening here in Portugal. Lovely idea. Gilda, I'm not even talking to you anymore. I'm so offended by what you've just put in the chat there. The question came in. I was really looking forward to your answer this evening, but Gilbert says, what's the best way to learn Portuguese? Not with Carl. I am so offended. I don't know the best way, says Debbie. I'll just change the subject maybe. I don't know the best way, but my friend and I are taking the course at University of Coimbra. Oh, that's for learning Portuguese. Yes, and I'm applying for the professorship at the University of Coimbra to teach Portuguese. Hopefully you won't get me, Debbie. Gilda, no hard feelings. I'm over it already. What's the best way to celebrate the Carnation Revolution next Thursday?
Well, it's in some cities, like in the city that I lived for, and I still live. There is something very good. It's because it's a left who runs the municipality are left wings. So they always make big parties with nice concerts and fireworks at midnight.
Right. Okay. So you're looking for a politically left-leaning administration.
Yes.
For the best
They always have the best parties in this day.
It's true, isn't it? And the Communist Party have the
It is true.
The biggest festival every year as well. That's amazing. Okay. Well, in my best Portuguese, Gilda, muito obrigado, querida.
De nada, querido.
E boa noite, queridos. Thank you very much. Over to you, Astrid.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, everyone. Great show again. I just wanted to give you a preview of what's happening over the next few weeks. So this time, 7:30 next Thursday, we've got a webinar about understanding the real estate buying process in Portugal and what the steps are. We're doing a step-by-step guide with Peter Van Noonen from the Portugal Company. Then we are doing our first, on the 4th of May, our first Tamar in-person meetup with Jerry and myself, and hopefully some of the Dream Team members if they want to come. So anyone from anywhere around the country, if you want to make a day trip to Tamar, we would love to meet you. Details of that are in the events calendar as well on the website. It's essential to RSVP for that one, so we know the numbers. So please do that if you're available. And whilst we've been here chatting with this webinar, we've actually moved the Hank and Connie event to the 11th of May because Hank and Connie are going to be coming to Tamar, and so they can relax their time there. They're going to do their social Saturday on the 11th of May. So that's also in the events calendar. So a few things coming up.
Wonderful. Thanks, Astrid. So bring your fizz next week. I think it's mainly us foreigners who'll be doing that. So a nice crisp espumant or something fizzy and celebratory that we can drink and toast the Carnation Revolution with Peter next week. Nuno, did you want to add something?
Yeah, just in special to Larry, my colleague sent you the quote on April 11, and I just forwarded it to you, so we
How
can
about that?
talk
Great service, Nuno. Thank you so much for that. So sometimes emails go missing, don't they? They go in the junk folder, they get buried. And if ever that, if ever you are missing an email or a communication, do bring it up on the Dream Team, and we'll make sure that the connection is made and that gets followed up. Thank you, Larry, for asking about that, and I hope that satisfies it it's resolved to your satisfaction. See you next week with some fizz, and as Tim suggests, with a nata as well. Bring whatever you want to celebrate the Carnation Revolution. A nata and fizz sounds like a great idea. I'll definitely up for that. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Dream Team. You've been amazing, and we'll see you again next